Welcome to Speak for Yourself. All of us at Fox Sports salute our veterans today.
Yeah, we both want to say a big thank you to those that are serving and to those that serve.
Much respect. Now let's get it started with huge news in Carolina. Cam is back. That's right, Cam Newton is in the building. The former Panther agreed to a deal for the rest of the season that can reportedly be worth up to $10 million. Carolina had a need at quarterback since Sam Darnold will be out at least 4 weeks with a shoulder injury. Cam spent his first 9 seasons in Carolina and was named MVP 2015. So, Acho, how should we feel about Cam returning to Carolina?
Man, we should be geeked that Cam Newton is returning. Hyped that Cam Newton is back in the NFL. I don't think I've seen more celebration of an individual on social media than today. Cam Newton getting back to the league. But we should be concerned with where he is returning. And that's my thing. Carolina Panthers have lost 5 out of the last 6 games.
Yeah.
And as I think about it, and I encourage all y'all to think about this quote, this saying, if you will, you either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain. Cam Newton was a hero in Carolina, is a hero in Carolina, took the Panthers to a Super Bowl, a 15-1 season, won an MVP in Carolina. Cam Newton had another 11-5 season. Cam Newton was balling in Carolina. So his legacy in Carolina is very heroic. The only reason that Cam Newton has ever been vilified was by opposing fans. Remember, a Titans fan wrote a letter, penned a letter, or he was vilified because he was injured. But that's not really a true villain. Cam Newton is perceived as a hero.
Let's go.
But if you go to Carolina, which Cam Newton has now gone to and is now signed, but you actually struggle by performance, well, now, Cam Newton, you have lived long enough to become a villain. That is my concern. Not for Cam Newton, the person, but that sometimes in life, oftentimes in life, legacy is greater than reality, sir.
Yeah.
For years, probably from 2016 to at least 2019, maybe 2020 for some. Colin Kaepernick. Imagine what he would do if he were back in the NFL. Only quarterback in NFL history, 180 rushing yards in a playoff game. Remember, he led his team to a Super Bowl. Colin Kaepernick is being blackballed. He can still play.
That voice.
But remember, Caps last year in the NFL, he was 1-10. Now, had 16 passing touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, a 90 passer rating, but he was only 1-10. I believe winning and losing is a quarterback stat. But Cap will forever get to live in legacy. Because we don't know the reality. Cap might have come back and gone to another Super Bowl, or Kaepernick might have come back and sucked. But he will get to live on in legacy of what could have been.
Talk to me.
Cam Newton would have been able to live off that legacy. Man, imagine if he never would have got hurt in Carolina. Imagine what he would have done. Well, now we're back. Now he's healthy. And sometimes reality will undermine the greatness of a legacy. And that is my concern with Cam and Carolina. I'm thrilled he's back. Remember, my favorite players in the NFL, and Cam. Cam Chancellor, Cam Newton. Literally, they were my favorite players while playing. I don't know if you're allowed to have favorites or not, but they were mine. I'm glad he's back. It's great for football, but I don't love him returning to Carolina, big bro.
Okay, let me start off by saying that I am so inspired by him coming back. I say inspired because this is an opportunity not for him to come home, but for him to have a homecoming. And it's a little bit of a difference. Cam Newton wasn't fully appreciated his first go-around in Carolina. Cam Newton is the tortured genius, as they call him. This is a guy that for things to go right, something has to go wrong. Cam Newton, let's start off with the first time I heard of Cam Newton. Who's this dude stealing computers in college? Okay. Then all of a sudden it goes to JC. Then all of a sudden, one year, you win a national title and the Heisman. And I went to the championship game and watched him go against those Oregon Fighting Ramps. And I watched it all in amazement. This dude was inspiring. I'm older than him. I'm out the league. I'm like, damn, who is this dude that is just next level? 2.0 embodied in terms of the style of quarterback. Cam Newton goes to Carolina. Amazing. Rookie of the year. Cam Newton balling out of control, and all of a sudden, car accident. Cam Newton balling out of control, gets to the Super Bowl. You should dive on the ball. Cam Newton out of control, still Super Bowl appearing quarterback. You don't want to do the press conference. Like, it's always something in the way. Cam Newton over there giving kids balls and dabbing, all of a sudden, he's selfish. Like, Cam Newton always found the contrast. Well, this is a moment for Cam Newton to go back to where it all started and give himself and every fan inspired by Cam Newton an objective measure. What is the objective measure? It's very hard to say objectively what Cam Newton is to this team or what he's meant to the NFL, except when you get an opportunity to go back to that place and show them that you are still great. Cam Newton in New England? Man, stop. Everyone is sitting in the back and having a thought bubble about New England in terms of Cam Newton. You want to say he was sorry. Some people have said he was sorry in New England. But then even they hesitated, like, but he didn't actually have weapons. Let me sum up what New England was, and this is why Cam Newton needs to go back home and show everybody who he really is. Cam Newton put up 7 wins in New England. 7 wins on a roster that even Tom Brady, the GOAT, said ain't good enough for me, right? So he puts up 7 wins with no offseason, a shortened training camp, no preseason, no weapons, and recover from COVID. Man, you go to Carolina, they offensive line suspect, but damn, he got C-Mac in the building. He got Robbie Moore in the building. He got Robbie Anderson, got Moore in the building. He got a defense in the building. Cam Newton can resurrect himself right now and let everybody know who Cam Newton really is. Even Bob Kraft said Cam didn't have the proper weapons when he was in New England. So now this is an opportunity that's not fear-based. I heard what you said, except you talk from a place of fear. I don't give a damn how long the movie is. I'm the hero or I'm the villain, but it's my movie. It's my script if I'm Cam Newton. Not everyone has to get to a place where it translates from hero to villain. MC Ren was born a villain. Rufus villain. Definition, killing. All right, so the point being this. If you're Cam Newton, don't be scared, dog. Go back home, not only show them who you are now, but show them who they missed in full appreciation of Cam the Great.
That's fair. Sal, I don't think Cam is scared, but let's talk about this. Since we live in Los Angeles, we do this show from L.A., not from Connecticut, not from New York, not from Atlanta, but from L.A. L.A. is a place where dreams become reality.
Okay.
It's amazing. It's an amazing place where dreams become a reality. Hollywood sign consistently reminding you that what was once your wildest dream can actually come true. But what I've also realized is sometimes a dream is better left as a dream.
Nah.
Make that dream reality.
Who says this?
Sal.
Other than dating. Oh,
That's a big part of it now. You know what they say in what you
don't date your fantasy.
Don't ever date your fantasy.
You shouldn't have been dreaming in the first place.
My dog Marcellus Wiley has told me this countless times.
I mean,
don't you ever date your fantasy because sometimes it's better left. It's just that, a fantasy, because the reality of what actually is much lesser than the fantasy of what could have been. Right now, the Panthers are about to date or re-involve themselves with their fantasy. Cam Newton was always a fantasy for the Carolina Panthers. #1 overall pick. Like Marcellus said, one phenomenal year at Auburn. Auburn is an 8-5 football team with Cam Newton and Nick Fairley. All of a sudden, they are an undefeated national champion.
Let's go.
That is who Cam Newton was. Cam Newton was a fantasy. 2015, Super Bowl, fantasy, wildest dreams. But now you're about to date him again, and it's not the same Cam.
Oh, okay, I know.
And that's my fear. So you have to remember, I believe it was 2010, Allen Iverson, he went back to the Sixers. Went back to the Sixers, and I had AIs. I loved Allen Iverson.
You had AIs?
I had AIs, big dog.
That you was broke?
No, I didn't have Shaqs.
They were not fresh.
Shaqs were payless.
No, Stephon Marbury's were
they were payless too. Starberry. But Starberry was a dude. I think he hooping in China still.
We still getting it.
But when AI went back to Philadelphia in 2010, he averaged 14 points a game, 13.9 to be exact.
Oh.
When he was in Philly from 96 to, I believe, 04, he averaged 28 points a game.
We doing that.
So AI did come back, and AI is one of the greatest hoopers, one of the greatest guards, pound for pound, maybe one of the best players of all time. But you would be a fool to believe that the Allen Iverson you got in 2010 was the same Iverson you got in 2001. In the same manner, I think it would be foolish to have such high expectations that this 2021 Cam Newton is going to be the 2015 Cam Newton. Cam doesn't need to be scared. Cam doesn't need to be worried. but I can be both scared and worried. When we're going into a football game, I've always asked coaches this, now that I'm no longer in.
Mike 51.
I'd be like, hey, coach, I asked Coach Peterson, Chris Peterson, former coach of Boise State, former coach for Washington. I believe they had to play Bama in the college football playoffs. I do the Saturday show now with Coach Peterson, and I asked him, I said, hey, coach, what were you really thinking before that game against Bama?
Yeah. Not what you told the players.
Not what you told the players.
Yeah.
What were you actually thinking?
What'd he say?
And he was like, well,
he already shook.
He was like, I knew we had to catch some breaks.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Okay.
He was like, I knew. Now, I had to lead my guys to believe that, of course, we can beat them. And he's like, I fervently did believe we could beat them. He's like, but I knew we had to catch some breaks because they had talent that we didn't have. Yeah. In the same manner, Cam Newton, like a football player on a college team that's playing Alabama or playing Georgia this year, you better believe you can do the impossible. But the coach in the silos of his office, on a desk with Marcellus Wiley.
I'm here.
I got to speak the truth.
Let's go.
And Cam Newton with these Panthers, boy, would they have to catch some breaks.
They would have to catch some breaks. Let's talk about these breaks that they would have to catch. Because last time I checked, Cam Newton's going to a team with the second-ranked defense. That sounds like a good break. Aaron Rodgers was raising his hand for many years, say, give me one of them defenses, I give you a Super Bowl. Oh, Cam Newton got to catch some breaks, huh? Yeah. Well, let's talk about how that defense held 5 of their opponents to 21 points or fewer. Oh, that sounds like a break. You mean I'm going to be in every ball game. Let's talk about some breaks. When they had a capable quarterback in Sam Darnold, for the first 3 games, they were undefeated. This was a 3-0 team we were talking about. It was. Because they had a capable quarterback. They had a running game, and they have defense, right? And they got receivers as well. All of a sudden, 2 things happened at the same time. Boy, and this was bad. C-Mac got hurt, and Sam Darnold looked in the mirror and said, oh, I am Sam Darnold. I'm not exactly who I was at USC. I'm not exactly the quarterback they think I am at the NFL level. He's somewhere between being a highly capable backup and an okay marginal starter. That's where Sam Darnold is. But when they had someone playing that position the right way, oh, it was going well in Carolina. That's catching breaks. All you got to do is now insert Cam Newton, Superman. Let's open it up to 1 again, and let's see if he's the man. You got to understand, Acho, when I give you these Wiley-isms, they not to apply back to Wiley.
Okay.
These Wiley-isms work in the world at large, but not to me, big dog.
Yes, sir.
Let's play a little game of paper, rock, scissors, and let's not play it for real, because you youngsters, y'all, 1, 2, 3, like, no, we ain't doing all that, right? But I know one thing about imagination versus reality. The only thing that will trump imagination, paper, rock, scissors, is reality. And the reality is Cam Newton was a good quarterback in New England who now comes to a great situation in Carolina. What do you think the returns should be? I think they're going to be great. Let's look at this situation for what it is. Cam Newton looks at this team and says, damn, they got everything I need. And that's why he went there. They also looked at Cam Newton and said, look, there's a lot of capable backups out there with no names, and we could go grab one of those guys. But who's going to inspire? Just like I led this show off with saying, Cam Newton inspires, man. No matter where you see this guy, whether it's on the field, whether it's on IG with that calligraphy, I don't know what the hell he'd be writing, demonic or something if you read it backwards. But the point is, whatever it is, Cam Newton inspires. He brings energy to a room. He brought life to the Patriots last year, and that team was left for dead. So this is a perfect situation for Cam to restore that roar.
Here's my fear, though, Marcellus Wiley.
You said fear. I knew you had
but I do.
Why?
I'm speaking from a place of fear in regards to Cam Newton.
Why?
Because I don't know if we're going to see Superman. I don't know if we're going to see Superman. I think we're going to see Clark Kent. And that is my biggest concern.
Last night, you saw 2 people last night. Justin Bieber, your favorite. So, Justin, I know he was trying to act cool. He always talk about you, dog. He in love with Justin Bieber. He a believer. And who's the other guy?
I saw Tom Holland. He played Spider-Man.
He played Spider-Man.
Yes, sir.
Were there other guys who have played Spider-Man as well?
Of course.
Okay, so there are different versions of Spider-Man, right?
Yes, sir.
There are different versions of Superman. Let's continue.
Okay, I like
Let's continue,
Here's my fear, though.
What?
If Superman no longer exists and Clark Kent is the only person that exists, Clark Kent, Cam Newton, can't save these Panthers. Clark Kent, Cam Newton, was 6-8 in 2018. Though statistically, individually, Cam Newton did, in fact, ball.
Yeah.
He got hurt in 2019 after starting 0-2. With the Patriots, he was 7-8. Sel, as I look at it, Cam Newton has had a losing season in 17, in 18, a losing season in 19, a losing season in 20, and then the start of 2021, he wasn't even employed. So while I long to see Superman, like you long to see Superman, Panthers fans and NFL fans long to see Superman, because that is who you expect when you are in the midst of crisis. if he shows up on an elevator instead of flying through a window, we gonna have a problem. And as I think what we're going to see is, ding, Cam Newton gonna walk off an elevator. I don't think it's gonna be it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. It's the stairs, it's the pavement. It's Clark.
It's what? The greatest American hero? Oh, I bet you don't remember that. Boy, that was a bootleg Superman there. Nah, don't do that. Compare Cam to Sam Darnold, and then you got something. Sam Darnold already threw 11 interceptions this year. Are we done with the year? No. Cam just threw 10 the entire year last year. 10 entire year. Already, abbreviated season, halfway through the season, Sam Darnold's already thrown 11. Let's be real about this. Cam's second half of the season last year in New England, 13 total touchdowns, 3 interceptions. You look at him, that is an improvement on Sam Darnold. And I haven't even talked about the intangibles. I haven't talked about how he's going to engage and give the energy to this collective roster. The point that you said that made the most sense, that hit me, and I didn't want to go here, but it's the end of this block. You talk about don't go back and date your ex. Move on to the next, right? I'll tell you why. 8th grade, I was in love. I ain't gonna say her name, David Adams. But I was in love, and she moved away. You know in the 8th grade when you broke and you just think that everything's so far away? Yep. She moved from LA to Santa Barbara. I thought she had moved to another country. I was like, Santa Barbara, I ain't gonna never see you, right? Never saw her. She moved to Santa Barbara, blah, blah, blah. Never saw her. My heart was broken because it was interrupted. It was abrupt. It was just like one day, okay, Marcellus, I'll see you later. All I saw was the Guess Jeans sign walking away. I was like, oh, my defeater. So the point being, I get to the league. I know down in Santa Barbara ain't that far from LA, right? So, you know, I got a couple bucks, you know, Southwest, let's do this. Flight here, and we met up again. And we both looked at each other and said, nah, I went too far one way. And she was like, I'm not going all the way there. So it still can, moral of the story, it still can work out. It doesn't have to be like it ends in disaster. It can end in mutual respect. And Cam Newton going back here doesn't have to end in disaster. Just get this team back to where it could be. Half a game right now outside the playoff picture. You think Cam Newton can't do that? Sam Darnold got him this far. Superman certainly will.
Hey, I'm Army Master Sergeant Eric Ritterby, stationed here in Korea with the 2nd Infantry Division. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I just want to give a shout out to my Arizona Cardinals. Go Cards!
Thank you, Master Sergeant Eric Ritterby. Fox Sports proudly salutes and supports our nation's military heroes and the organizations that serve them this Veterans Day.
Foundation for Women Warriors is a 101-year-old nonprofit dedicated to honoring and empowering the women veteran community and their children. For more information on how you can enhance their personal and economic well-being, visit foundationforwomenwarriors.org. Now, there's a big reunion in Carolina, and Acho, you and I are invited. Cam Newton is back with the Panthers after agreeing to a deal for the rest of the season. Cam has not played since being released by the Patriots in August, but Sam Darnold will be out at least 4 weeks with a shoulder injury. And the Panthers are currently 4-5. So, Acho, can Cam Newton save the Panthers this season?
No, Sel, I don't think Cam Newton can. How I feel about this Cam Newton signing in regards to his salvation of the Panthers is this. You know when you walk into a kitchen and you hear the sizzling going on in the oven, and it smells real good, it smells real good. It starts to whet your appetite.
Grandma!
But then you walk in and you see all they got going is they cooking some bacon. And bacon smell real good.
What's wrong with bacon?
And bacon from a ways away, you can hear it, but it ain't got no nutritional value.
Oh, damn.
And while I think this Cam Newton signing is going to make some noise, we've heard the sizzle, and you're going to start to feel or sense the aroma, you're going to realize Cam Newton might not have very much value to this Carolina Panthers team because the Panthers team doesn't have a ton of value for Cam Newton. And that's why I don't think he can save these Carolina Panthers. What can save these people? Christian McCaffrey is injured.
These people.
Robbie Anderson has kind of been statistically declining, hasn't been great this season. Cam Newton has always looked for an outlet in the tight end position. Greg Olsen was one of his best friends on the football field. And their tight ends this season ain't made no noise. 11 catches and 9 catches, respectively, between their tight end number 2 and their tight end number 1. So just by nature of pulling out the S on his chest, that's not going to save these Panthers. It's going to have to do a lot more than that. Cam Newton couldn't save the Patriots. And we know what the Patriots are as an organization. They might not have had the talent individually offensively. They might not have had the talent individually defensively because so many guys like Dante Hightower sat out last season. But how is Cam Newton, who was 6-8 a couple years ago, 0-2 2 years ago, 7-8 last year. How are we supposed to believe that he's going to come in and save a Panthers team that desperately needs much more than just a simple Cam Newton, Marcellus Wiley? Like,
Okay, here we go. I know when you're ready, because it's time to warm up.
Man, before
Let's go.
before I moved to L.A., not really before I moved to L.A., back when your boy was still, trying to figure out how to make these ends meet more so. I didn't go to steakhouses to get steaks. I couldn't afford it. I wasn't going to Maestro's. I wasn't going to wherever else people go to get steaks that are fancy. Your boy was going to, some of them lower-class steakhouses. Here's the problem.
Like what, Outback? Nothing wrong with no Outback.
At those lower-class steakhouses, though, sometimes they be overcooking the steaks. And you think this. You got to say this. Can I get some A1 sauce, please? Can I get some A1? But the trick with A1 sauce is it ain't going to save the steak. It's just going to mask how bad the steak actually is. A1 sauce ain't never saved a steak in its life.
Shoot, I don't know
But
what
it
you
will
talking
make it a little bit better.
A whole lot, a little bit.
Cam Newton is not going to save these Carolina Panthers. Now, he might mask some of their deficiencies. He might mask the fact that McCaffrey isn't full go. He might mask the fact that Robbie Anderson isn't on pace for another 1,200 yards. But Cam Newton is not going to save the Panthers. He's just going to mask some of their deficiencies. Don't ever get it twisted, Sel. A1 sauce ain't going to save you now.
Man.
It's just going to mask a thing or two.
Dog, they owe me money from all the stock I invested in growing up with A1 steak sauce. Boy, I thought A1 came with steak, let alone, I thought, like, you go to the butcher, he give you A1, much as I love me some A1. Man, and no shots at bacon. Don't you ever do that. Bacon is like the condiment of foods.
It has no nutritional value.
Ketchup doesn't either. It goes with everything, just like bacon. It go with everything. I don't give a damn. That's enough value to me. My last joke is this. No one goes to Maestro's. It's Mastro's. You be going to them broke steakhouses. Let's talk Maestro's. Where the hell that at? Let's talk about how Cam Newton gonna save this team. You know why he gonna save them? Because he ain't got much saving to do. They are half a game out of the playoff picture. Right now, we look at the Atlanta Falcons, 4-4, right? This team, the Carolina Panthers, have 5 losses. Last time I checked, Coach, if we 4-5 and they 4-4, we have game out, Coach. We could do something there. And then you brought up all the issues in the receiving game. I would just say there's a direct correlation to the issues at the quarterback position is why you're not seeing Robbie Anderson in the receiving game playing as well. C-Mac is going to ball. He's getting his legs back under him from injury. We know C-Mac is going to ball. Let's not do that. But let's talk about this team as a whole and how close they really are. Were they 3-0 starting the season when they had a capable quarterback? Yes, they were. Are 3 of their 5 losses by 1 score? Yes, they are. Lost to Dallas by 8. Lost to the Eagles by 3, lost to the Vikings by 6. Wait a minute. This team is right there, dog. And you trying to tell me Superman, you saying he can't fly anymore? You say he taking Ubers? Like, what the hell? He ain't got to be Superman flying anymore, and I still think he can fly. Point being, you ain't got to go far. You ever check on Uber or something and it's like walking distance? Cam just needs to take this team and say, let's just cross the street, y'all. That's all we got to do. Get ourselves in the playoff picture, and then we could do something. This team is loaded. They got the second-ranked defense. They got C-Mac. The receivers are starving for someone to be a capable quarterback. Cam Newton, open up the shirt. Show him the number 1. Show him the S on your chest.
Can I be blunt?
Yes.
Can you indulge me? Can I be blunt for a second?
It's California. You can do more than be blunt.
Cam Newton is going to be a glorified distraction technique. That is what Cam Newton is unfortunately going to be.
I don't want to hear this, but go ahead. What you
glorified distraction technique. If y'all have ever dislocated a finger, what a doctor might tell you,
Let's go.
What a doctor might tell you is tap your temple. Tap your temple if you've dislocated a finger.
Okay.
If you've ever gone to get some sort of facial surgery, Botox, an injection, eye lift, whatever.
How long you been in L.A.?
Too long. They might tell you to, like, rub a vibration tool on your temple. They might tell you to do something like that to distract you from the pain. It's not going to mitigate the pain. It's just going to distract you from the pain.
True.
You jam a finger, you break a finger, they got to pop it back in, tap your temple, because hopefully the tap of the temple will distract you from the fact that we are popping your finger back in. Cam Newton is a distraction technique.
Stop it.
The Panthers' rushing attack is not what we thought it was going to be. The Panthers' passing attack was not what we thought it was going to be. The Panthers started off 3-0 because they started off playing the Jets and playing the Texans and playing Jameis Winston in his second start in 21 months. The Panthers really have a lot of issues going on that they hope Cam Newton can mask. But just like when you tap your temple, that jammed finger's still gonna hurt to get popped back in. Just like when you tap your temple, that shot is still gonna hurt when you get it. So I really look at Cam Newton not as salvation for the Panthers. I look at Cam Newton as a glorified distraction technique, not just on the field, but in the community. One of the greatest things Cam Newton did, 8 consecutive years, Cam Newton threw a Thanksgiving jam, provided food, provided meals for 1,300 inner city families in Carolina and in the Carolinas. Distraction technique. Cam Newton getting signed roughly 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. Today, Thursday? Yeah, roughly 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So I was assuming he's going to come back. Cam's going to throw his jam party, his 9th one. Distraction technique off the field because an amazing human is back in our city. Distraction technique on the field. All Cam Newton, I think, will be for these Panthers is a glorified distraction technique. I don't think he's going to be the salvation we desperately long for him to be. I don't think he can be. Panthers need too much help.
Man, they don't need that much help because first, let's take this in doses. Like, let's not run the entire marathon in one step. My dad used to tell me that all the time when I was growing up, and I used to try to come home with these big words, multi-syllable words, like, Daddy, I feel overwhelmed. He's like, overwhelmed? He's like, sit your ass down. What's wrong with you? Right, first of all, spell overwhelmed, like you said, and then what's on your plate? Now I'll say this and this and this and this, and he's like, man, stop. 1, don't add them all up, and 2, how long is a marathon? I said, Daddy, it's 26.2 miles. He said, now take the first step. How long is a marathon now? 26.1, something. Daddy's like, that's my point. Stop trying to say, well, he got to fix all of that. Just fix this in front of you, which is, let's get a half a game on Atlanta. Oh, we play Atlanta going forward. Let's get that half a game. Now, they got a schedule. Ooh, it's going to get rough and tough out there. If you see Tampa Bay twice, you see Buffalo, you see Arizona this weekend, God doubt. But the point of it is, it's not for no Thanksgiving Day parade for Cam Newton. That's not why they signed him. They signed him because they realized we are that close. We're desperate, and in desperate times, desperate measures. We're that close, and we need a capable quarterback. Sam Darnold, the book has been written now on Sam Darnold, I think, in Carolina. They're going to move on from him. You gave me the distraction technique, and let me tell you what this really is. Because I had the dislocated fingers, as you can see right here, Acho, and they did the whole distraction. We used to do the towel. Put the towel in my, I was like, oh, God. Here's the thing. I'd rather have a dislocated finger than a broken finger. Who wouldn't, right? You know why? Because there's something you can do right now in the moment that allows me to continue to perform. You got a broken finger, they just are like, cast it up, 6 weeks. We ain't got nothing to do. Dislocated, ow, ow, ow. Oh, okay, relief. Cam Newton is brought in for that relief because Sam Darnold, bro, you were out of place. My last point is this. Have you ever done a finger test? And I ain't throwing up blood, huh? You ever did a finger test?
Pull them apart?
Yeah, pull them apart. I should do that, but you're too far away in 6 feet, Aaron Rodgers. So the point of it is the finger test used to tell you what you really felt. I remember I went to a therapist, and he was like, everyone at home, the finger test. And you can't do it on yourself. It's kind of like tickling yourself. You got to do it like this. Someone else do it. And basically, they ask you things that are good for you and bad for you. So this is the finger test when you're doing with Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton or Sam Darnold again? Most people will go like that because you know why? It doesn't reach. In the finger test, it shows you with the strength. You can't break it apart if it's something good for you. Vegetables. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's good for me. Cam Newton to the Panthers. Oh, that's good for me. Sam Darnold back again. That ain't going to happen. Coming up, we got breaking news on Odell Beckham Jr. after the break. That's all I can say, y'all. Y'all got to come back after the break. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Now, that's a finger test right there. We have breaking news. Adam Schefter reported a few minutes ago that Odell Beckham Jr. is finalizing the deal to join the Los Angeles Rams. L.A. recently traded for Von Miller and are currently 7-2. Acho, what's your reaction to this big news?
Smart move by Odell Beckham. Now, I don't know if the move is necessarily going to pan out career-wise, but smart move by Odell Beckham. So I went to the Rams game on Sunday night, Rams-Titans game, and here's what we know about Odell Beckham. He is a megastar. Odell Beckham's personality, it transcends the sport of football. Odell Beckham was global playing the wide receiver position. L.A. is exactly where Odell Beckham needs to be to maximize his stardom. Check during the course of his career and huge check even when his career is over. What else we know about the Rams? They throw to their wide receivers 26 times a game. Why is that number relevant? That's the second most most in the NFL, second to the Buffalo Bills. So Odell Beckham is a player who wants catches. He needs more catches. That's why he wanted out of Cleveland. That's number one. Odell Beckham is a player who is deserving of superstardom because he is a superstar.
Yep.
No greater city to be in if you want to be a star and maximize your stardom than the city of angels, than Los Angeles. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of the details later, but I do love Odell Beckham coming to the Rams.
Oh, man, it's one of those things that I love until I start thinking about it, and I just like it a lot. And it's weird, you know, like me at the club in my 20s. I fell in love a lot, and then I start thinking about it. And I was like, I just kind of like her a lot. Here's why I don't love it fully. Even you said it. You said this is maybe not going to work out for his career, but hey, my coach always told me, don't come to practice on a red carpet. Do not put your off the field before you're on the field. You know who the biggest stars in our game are the ones who perform the best. Like, I don't know, Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? It's weird when we want to put a situation like Odell off the field before on the field. Cooper Kupp is there. Robert Woods is there. You look at them right now, and then Matthew Stafford obviously going to get them the ball. I just say, where was Deshaun Jackson when they were doing the second most pass attempts? How come he didn't get the rock? Now, Deshaun Jackson is not Odell Beckham Jr. right now, but in the world of Odell Beckham Jr. in terms of, hey, I'm going to run that deep ball, run that deep route, and be open. But Deshaun didn't get any of the touches as advertised. Okay, so now you're Odell. You got to learn a new system. You got to learn Sean McVay's system. Cooper Kupp's already balling out of control. Number one receiver. Robert Woods is there. Robert Woods does a lot of the dirty work, especially in the run game, blocking, etc., jet sweeps, etc. You see it. Odell, where are you going to get your fit? If you go to the Rams, here we go again. Matthew Stafford's an MVP candidate, right? You don't work with Matthew Stafford, all excuses gone, brother. All this star power and cashing in on your cachet and off the field going to go out the window too, because you know why? Wait a minute. We could blame Baker Mayfield for some of your woes, but we can't blame Matthew Stafford, can we? He made Cooper Kupp look like this, and Cooper Kupp was already balling. This offense looks like this because of Matthew Stafford. And Odell, you couldn't find a way. People are not going to give him the grace and the mercy I think that he would have been afforded going to New Orleans or other situations. I love it because it's Odell in L.A. I mean, come on, big dog. Who ain't going to love that? But at the same time, I don't know if I love it together. And that's the situation.
But, Sel, it is a match made in heaven. Here's why I am infatuated with Odell Beckham going to L.A. Certain offensive schemes can attack a scheme, or certain offensive coaches can attack players.
Okay.
Sean McVay is the type of coach who he will attack a player. Sean McVay did not use Deshaun Jackson during the course of the season. But the one time he chose to, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Deshaun Jackson had 3 catches for 120 yards, and Matthew Stafford missed him twice. We calculated Deshaun Jackson could have had over 200 yards that game if Stafford would have just connected. So it wasn't that Deshaun Jackson didn't have the ability to maximize his skills in Los Angeles. Sean McVay was just like, yeah, we don't need you. If Sean McVay is looking at Odell Beckham and saying, not only do I want you, but I could use you, now I'm certain that Sean McVay can maximize this Odell Beckham ability, because Sean McVay is the type of coach who will attack a player defensively. I got Cooper Kupp. He already leads the league in receiving. I got Robert Woods, an incredible receiver, but also a great gadget player. Give me Odell Beckham as well. I'm just going to figure out how to attack the third defensive back on the opposing team. But now, Sel, because you've lived in L.A. for God knows how long, it's the real love. This is perfect for Odell, man.
Let's hear how.
Odell
I ain't heard it yet.
He is a star who deserves to be amongst the stars. We talked about it last night. I'm out and about on my birthday, just gallivanting through Los Angeles. I'm out on my birthday, and I'm sitting across from Justin Bieber. I'm sitting across from Tom Holland, the dude that plays Spider-Man. This is on a random Wednesday in L.A. Odell Beckham is Odell Beckham. Now he is back rubbing shoulders with stars. Like, Odell deserves this because of the legend that he became in the sport. So now I think his performance will still be good enough, but you know how it goes in L.A. You've been to Chargers games. Clearly you've been to Rams games as well. In the Rams games, it's a scene. And Odell Beckham is the greatest sight to behold on that field.
Man, but you are that's the out-of-towner spirit. That's why L.A. all messed up, because all the people that come from out of town always have that vision of L.A. and where dreams become reality. And then all the natives are just laid back like me, cool, like, man, whatever. Yeah, I saw Ice Cube in the 3rd grade. Yeah, he's famous now. He's just O'Shea. Like, relax. But everyone, oh my God, I'm awake. And stop saying Tom Holland like he's so famous. You know why? You're telling on yourself. Every time you mention him, this is the third time you mentioned him, you said Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man. You ain't really famous, so they got to start talking about what you do. You know, Odell Beckham, that's it. You don't say Odell Beckham, he plays for the Rams. Like, I remember those days because I wasn't. Marcel Sprouse, he played for the Chargers. Guess what? I ain't that guy yet. When they start saying, oh, that's that dude, now you're somebody. Okay? So here's the thing. We can't put the cart before the horse, man. Do you know who Van Jefferson is? Mm-hmm. Yeah. They've been grooming this young man. He's 25 years old. Now he's their third receiver. I don't know. Maybe Deshaun ran into that wall and said, damn, I can't beat out Van Jefferson for these touches. You told me Deshaun had one good game in out of 7, 8, 9 games? You think Odell gonna be here as a star, going for one every 8, 9 games when McVay wants to employ him and deploy him into a game plan? He needs to get touches. And I'm gonna tell you where the real rub is. Be real about this. Cooper Kupp is nice.
He is.
But I'm gonna take you back to the primal days of football, when you're not in the bleachers, you're in the stands. Remember those days? And if I see Cooper Kupp at practice, and Robert Woods at practice, and Odell Beckham Jr. at practice, I tell you who my number one is already today. It's gonna be Odell. Here's the problem. It ain't gonna be Odell. So now Odell gonna be sitting there with some suppressed knowledge that I'm better than Cooper Kupp and I'm better than Robert Woods in terms of talent, athleticism, whatever you want to say. The primal approach to the game. But then he gonna get on that field and Cooper Kupp gonna get every 10 passes to his one. And he gonna be like, that's what we doing? Now, where does that personality go when you just left Cleveland, already suppressed everything, didn't say anything bad against Baker Mayfield, wanted to be the good cop. Now you come here and you know this kind of like your ninth life in terms of being thought of as a one receiver. And you're going to sit there and take backseat to not only Cooper Kupp, but Robert Woods? I ain't slighting neither one of those guys, but I just know how it feels when you know you better than somebody, but you ain't getting the love from it.
The kicker is when you go to the Rams for Odell Beckham, it's perfect because you're going to somebody who knows how to utilize you. So I have no clue how to juggle. I don't care if you hand me a tennis ball. I don't care if you hand me a basketball. I don't care if you hand me an orange. I cannot juggle the three. But I've been to a carnival before, and I've seen a guy juggling 3 tennis balls. Yeah. And then someone will toss him a basketball, and he'll intermingle that into the juggling. Then someone will toss him a golf ball, and somehow he'll intermingle that into the juggling. Then someone will toss him a fruit, an apple or an orange, and he'll intermingle that into the juggling. Sean McVay is like that genius at the carnival, if you will. Sean McVay is like, okay, give me a Van Jefferson. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, give me a Cooper Kupp. Okay, cool. Okay, give me a Robert Woods. Okay, oh, you got Odell Beckham? Yeah, toss me that. Toss me, toss me that this way. Sean McVay has the ability to juggle all of this offensive talent, and Matthew Stafford is the quarterback that can do so. Matthew Stafford second in the NFL in passing touchdowns. Matthew Stafford first in the NFL in passer rating. Matthew Stafford first in the NFL in passing yards. So while we are freaking out, wait, another Odell Beckham, Sean McVay is just sitting here patiently juggling with all these new toys that he has been given.
Yeah, and then if you look, you see Sean McVay maybe slip and fall. You say, why you fall? Oh, I just stepped on Deshaun Jackson, my bad. Just rolled that ball he just dropped. Look, there's no way that anybody saw this coming. Like, look, the few times I am on Twitter, I didn't see one person say, he should go to the Rams. Like, because nobody thought he would go to the Rams because we just saw Deshaun Jackson lead the Rams because there weren't enough footballs to go around, enough passing attempts to go around. Now you're telling me that that can be the case. I pray it's the case. But two things are going to be at play. And I'm talking to the real personality of a football player, not that podium jump. Cooper Kupp is balling. If Cooper Kupp is not balling to this level, when you add Odell, it becomes subtraction of Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp going to feel a certain way. Second of all, Odell going to feel like if I'm added to a team, but I'm still in the same situation, just Cleveland now wearing a different color. Oh, and I'm in L.A. where those lights are the brightest. See, this is what happens. He's going to have to peacock. That means I got to show you I'm Odell Beckham. I'm in L.A. Whoa, I may be at Catch. Did I tell? Catch with Emmanuel Acho. From Speak for Yourself. You ain't no, I'm with Emmanuel Acho. I'm over there, Justin Bieber and Tom Holland. Point being, if you Odell, you got to flash if you in L.A. But what if it ain't no voltage? What if there are not enough touches for him? That's my issue. And not on Sean McVay, it's on Matthew Stafford saying, hey, bro, you supposed to have been there. I know you're learning the system. You ain't there. Cooper Kupp there. Here you go. Sorry, Odell.
Let's split up this pie, though, because if you're Odell Beckham, you look at yourself and athletes, businessmen, etc., businessmen that were athletes, we look at ourselves as a business.
Yes.
We don't work for businesses. We are, in fact, businesses. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. So Odell Beckham is a business.
Yeah.
And half of his business is as an athlete.
Yeah.
The other half of his business is just as a brand. If you come to L.A., even if you fail with half of your business as an athlete, you are still maximizing your business as a brand. Because once again, spotted at the Lakers game is singer Odell with superstar agent Rich Paul. Justin Bieber sitting there with his wife Haley, and also, Odell Beckham made a sighting. Once again, Odell Beckham looks at himself twofold because he's made so much money twofold, both as an athlete and as a brand. Even if he does not succeed as an athlete, he will succeed as a brand. And we've seen Odell Beckham, even when he had 1,000 yards in Cleveland, he wasn't in no commercials. When he was in New York, he was still in commercials with Eli Manning. Juju Smith-Schuster, he succeeded as a brand, but he ain't necessarily succeeded as an athlete. Odell Beckham coming to L.A. Sal, he can't lose.
Yes, he can.
Because even if you lose on the football field, you bought insurance.
No.
He got insurance.
Yeah.
His insurance is maximizing his brand. He good.
But what was the brand built on? Odell Beckham Jr., the football player.
But it's built already now.
No, it's not. First of all, you ain't never stopped building. If so, Tom Brady would have been retired. You ain't never stopped building that brand. Tom Brady got more commercials now than he did ever when he was winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl in New England. You can say that's because he went to a bigger market. He didn't go to a bigger market. He just kept balling. This is an age-old argument that is really coming to a head right now, because when generations switch and you get to now where we are with these Gen Zs or whatever, then old heads like me, we sit there and say, what's most important? And I understand trying to get the most out of your brand, but first build your brand to its maximum capability and power. You do that by playing football and playing it at the highest level. Then you cash in all of those chips once you got them in. Odell Beckham right now, if he goes to a Staples Center game to watch the Clippers, and I'm going to tell you what people are going to say. Odell was at the Clipper game. And the next comment, should have been watching film. One catch. Come on, Odell. You don't play basketball. The point being, if you're Odell, make sure, ball before you fall. Coming up, the wait is over. It's time to find out who made Dat Dudes Dudes, and that's up next. Don't speak for yourself. Text me out there.
We all know that football is one upfront counting sacula. You like that? Look out. Oh, you got stood up. Look out. Say good night. Like night night. Who that? Who that? Who that? A little dance move the front. Throw him off. He's Superman. Hey, wah, wah. Bullet guard. Yeah.
We got good sound effects. Supercharged out there. Ooh, look at this boy out there. Oh, everybody's seen this play, but everybody doesn't know why this play occurred. Well,
the wait is over. Not only for the signing of Odell Beckham, but also for the return of Dat Dudes Dudes. Marcella's going to highlight the best of the Week 9 guys in the trenches. We got to start in the Bay, where a Carolina linebacker, Cardinals linebacker, was golden against the Niners.
I like that. His name is Marcus Golden. Yes, he was golden. Shall we dance, Acho? Watch my man Marcus Golden over here from Missouri. I call that D-Line University because, boy, they get some guys out of there. My man Marcus Golden, get that thing up. And watch him at the end. I'll show you that later. Marcus Golden does not get off the rock, textbook style, on purpose, because he knows what he's doing. I'm going to get off and dance. I'm going to get off a little slower because I want to read what you're doing. Look at those lazy hands, man. You can't punch. Oh, I've seen that. It's the third quarter. You've been punching lazy all game. That's why I got 3 sacks on you, big dog. But you going to punch me lazy? I'm going to grab them slow things, and I'm going to twist them, and I'm going to turn them, and it's time to play the music. Oh, Acho the Jodeci is playing in the background. He is grabbing him and twisting him and turning him, and now, oh, my God, Jimmy G. You see that slam? Hit a drum again, wicked, slam his butt. Jimmy G, like Trey Lance anywhere. Now watch this. Best dance I've seen. You know I want to get with this dude. What the hell is you doing? I got to hang with you. Marcus, go tweet me, big dog. I got to kick it with you.
Let me get the rock for this one. Let me get the rock for this one. I need that right there. So we got to head to Arrowhead, where a Packers linebacker rushed his way to bring down Patrick Mahomes.
Woo! Let's see this right here. Rashawn Gary, Flo Rida. Coming off that edge right there. You know he think he's somebody special when you come off the edge, coming out of that 2-point stance. You know you're super sexy when you're 2-point stance and you're rushing the passer. Those are the athletes out there. Now, first thing he's witnessing is, hey, What's going on with this stance? Oh, you want to invite me to go outside? Oh, you think I'm crazy? Okay, look at this lazy hand right here. You see that lazy hand? That means I'm going to steer you. I'm going to try and punch you, but this is no punch. This is just to steer you outside. Rashawn Gary says, bullseye. Me. Now I know what to do. I got a grip on you. You better tighten up those shoulder pads. Too late, big dog. I don't care how big you are. If I want you to go down the river, I will make you go with flow, leverage, and technique. He says, I don't care how big you are, big dog. You want to go outside? You go outside. And Rashawn Gary makes the play on the inside counter move. Tremendous play right there because he knew what was happening. He's my number 2.
Took him down by the riverside. And finally, let's take a look at who gets the top spot. A Titans defensive end who bulldozed his way to bring down Matt.
Jeffrey Simmons. This might be my favorite rush ever. God. Oh, this is what you talk about when you say grown man. Look at him, cock. Full alert. I am coming out the gate on my toes. Fat boy slim. That's what we call it. When you hand cocked, look at his teammate. Hand all lazy on the leg, it lets you know which one's trying to really eat out there, right? Hit him with that old Batman. Bam! Pow! Batman style. Woo! Look at him looking like a Pez, one of them little Pez sticks right there. Watch his head. Oh, God, shock and awe right now. Then he hits him with the extension. Look at the back. The back is flat. He got his leverage. He's all underneath him. Look at the legs right there. Can't even stop. Matthew Stafford says, stop. Man, stop. He's like, yeah, I'm going to stop once I knock you over. And then watch this outro. That's called full extension right there. Look how much leverage you got. Fly through the air. You're Superman. Then he brings down Matthew Stafford on the play. Oh, my God. I hate to say this, man, but that's how you get divorced. Getting bull rushed like that. She said, I got a foul right now. Hey, my man, Mr. Simmons, you number 1, that dude.
Man, so Jeffrey Simmons has joined the squad of Dat Dudes Dudes of the week. Be sure to check us out next week to see who else is going to make the exclusive list. Coming up, we got some breaking news again. Odell Beckham Jr., he just signed. That's word on the street. That's after the break. We're going to give y'all our take. Speak for yourself.
Great job, Gabriel. Veterans Day, we're making Camel our cause in support of the Honor U.S. Vets campaign and the belief that our veterans deserve to live with dignity and independence, not on the streets.
You can do the same by wearing camo and posting with our hashtag HonorUSVets. For more information on how you can help U.S. vets and veteran homelessness, visit usvets.org.
Let's do it. Now let's get to breaking news in the NFL. Adam Schefter reported earlier that Odell Beckham Jr. is finalizing a deal to join the Rams. L.A. currently 7-2 and have the 3rd best odds to win the Super Bowl, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook, trailing only the Bills and the Bucs. So, Acho, would Odell make the Rams the team to beat?
Duh, Odell makes the Rams the team to beat. First and foremost, the Rams were already my team to beat prior to the signing of Odell at the beginning of the season. Well, now you're going to take Matthew Stafford, who has the highest passer rating. You're going to take Matthew Stafford, who has the 2nd most touchdown passes. Matthew Stafford, who leads the NFL in passing yards. You're going to couple Matthew Stafford, who's playing phenomenally well outside of that last game, partner him with Sean McVay, who's the most brilliant offensive mind, particularly as it pertains to attacking players on defense. Not necessarily just attacking scheme, but attacking weak players on defense. And then you're going to give him another weapon like Odell Beckham. That is a match made in heaven. Because I look at it now. Take your best defensive back. Put him on Cooper Kupp. You better. Cooper Kupp leads the NFL in receiving yards. Take your 2nd best defensive back. Put him on Robert Woods. Go ahead. That's fine. You telling me a team's 3rd best DB, maybe a team's nickel back, maybe a team's safety who's dropped down, maybe a team's additional defensive back if they want to come out there in a dime package. That's what you call when there's an extra defensive back on the field. You think they can guard Odell Beckham? Talking 1,000-yard receiver, Odell Beckham, who used to do that in his sleep when he was healthy? Oh, there is not a chance. Odell Beckham absolutely and unequivocally makes the Rams the team to beat.
Oh, man. Oh, Acho, no, they're not the team to beat. And I don't think that you had the Rams as the team to beat before Odell signed.
Run the tape.
You run the tape?
Run the tape.
I'm going to run it in my head right here when I went to that big board with you and we did our rankings. And you know who wasn't number 1 anymore? The Rams. Why? I wonder why. Because they just lost the game to a team without their running back and Derrick Henry, to a team that was compromised, and they still came to SoFi and beat these Rams. No, they're not going to get over the hump because they signed Odell Beckham Jr., the great in talent and potential, to their roster. Let me tell you why. I'm going to use this parallel of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to highlight why Odell won't be the difference maker. Odell needs to be careful, and that's the homie. But I'm going to tell him right now in front of all the homies, be careful and don't become an Antonio Brown. Don't become an AB.
What do you mean by that?
Okay. Odell, right now, in this point in his career, needs to resurrect not only his career, his image, the perception of him being the #1 wide receiver, right? Antonio Brown had an opportunity to do that as well when he was a free agent through all his issues, we remember, right? He goes to Tampa Bay. He wins the ring, but now, close your eyes. Do you think of Antonio Brown as that dude at the receiver position like he used to? Only thing that changed is he went on a team where he wasn't going to get those touches, and everything changed. That's Odell right now with Cooper Kupp there, Robert Woods there, even Van Jefferson there. I know Odell's better than all those guys in terms of skills. Like Antonio Brown, to me, still better than Mike Evans, still better than Chris Godwin in terms of skills. But in terms of perception, in terms of opportunity, oh, he ain't getting that chance. Here's the parallel even further than just Antonio Brown to Odell Beckham Jr. How did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win their Super Bowl championship? Everyone could look and say, well, it was Tom Brady. It was the offense. It was the receiver. It was that running game and that defense. Let's highlight where the running game is with the Rams right now. 20th in the league. Let's highlight what the Bucs did in the playoffs last year to get that trophy, that Lombardi. 142 rushing yards, 127 rushing yards, 145 rushing yards, and a 76-yard performance. 9 takeaways from the defense. Tom Brady was going around 55, 60% throwing the football, turning the football over, and didn't even throw for a ton of yards in the Super Bowl, 201. But you know how they did it? Run the ball and play stout defense. I believe in this Rams defense in terms of name and personnel, especially when Von Miller comes, but I don't believe in their running game. So you're going to add me another receiver to an issue that we have in terms of our running game. How is that going to help us out? I tell you where this all goes. They got spanked by Arizona, and they got spanked by Tennessee. Why? I just showed you on Dat Dudes Dudes. Physicality. You bring in Odell Beckham Jr., he doesn't help you in terms of physicality. He doesn't help you in terms of the ground game. He doesn't help complement your offense and give you balance. He's just Odell who's looking for some touches. Be careful, because this could backfire in many a way.
It could backfire, but it won't backfire. So the Rams, if they aren't already there, they close. We know this much. Rams got 2 losses on the season to the best team in the NFC and the best team in the AFC. That's it.
Okay.
They beat the Bucs. They done beat everybody else. But they only got 2 losses. The best team's the NFC and the best team in the AFC. So if the Rams are not there, they are close. Odell Beckham is the type of player who takes you from being close to getting you there. Odell Beckham is the type of player who, if you got Odell, now I have to come out there with an extra defensive back.
You better.
I have to.
You better.
I got to respect Odell's presence. That will help, at least to some degree, free up space in a run game. Now, I was there like I told you. Rams, Titans, Sunday night. Rams got smacked in the mouth. Titans were more physical.
There you go.
The Rams' offensive line was no match for the Titans' defensive line. Rams' offensive line was no match for the Titans' linebackers. Titans were running. They was hitting all of the things. But realistically, Matthew Stafford made 2 bonehead plays that were the difference in that game. What are you doing? Just take the sack, take the safety, live to die another day. Live to live another day. So you take Odell Beckham, who at a minimum, again, is a great distraction, a great attraction. Defensively, how you scheme it up? I'll put y'all on game. Defensive meeting rooms. We go into the meeting every Tuesday of game week. Monday was our off week, so Monday was our off day. Tuesday was our real prep
that's why
day.
I kept losing.
Wednesday, that's your coach now. It's your Chip.
You better leave Chip alone.
Hey, your coach. Wednesday was that real final day where, hey, we're going to do the breakdown.
Yeah.
And when we get into the breakdown in the meeting room, the defensive coordinator would be like, okay, we got to make sure we stop Derrick Henry this week. He's a player. Outside of Derrick Henry, Julio Jones, he doesn't really have it as much anymore. A.J. Brown is really the dude. Right, that's what the defensive. We don't shoot you straight. Right? The media don't. The defensive coordinator don't shoot you straight.
Yes, talk.
If you're in the meeting room prepping for the Rams, what they're going to say is, don't worry about the running game. Running game didn't do anything. Their offensive line is soft. Punch them in the mouth, they soft. That Cooper Kupp dude now, don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on Cooper Kupp, he's special. Robert Woods is a good gadget player. Odell is still talented. I don't care what anybody says. Cleveland didn't know how to use him. Odell is still talented. We're going to make sure we double Cooper Kupp on these 3rd downs. We might send a double team to Odell Beckham and make somebody else beat us. The kicker is, the Rams got somebody else that can beat him. The Rams have the Van Jeffersons. The Rams have the Robert Woods. And if you do dare to disrespect Odell Beckham, he gonna beat you and he gonna make you pay. Odell Beckham gonna come in now with a vengeance. And I do think the Rams, who were already the teams to beat, now they certainly are.
Nah. Because everyone got a plan, and that sounds like a beautiful plan. I was sitting in that meeting to get pumped. Everybody got a plan until what? They get punched in the mouth. And I just saw the Rams get punched in the mouth, and there goes that plan. As you said, bonehead plays, right? Okay, let's talk about pressure that bursts pipes. It's the playoffs. And you got Matthew Stafford with his, never won a playoff game. Okay, that's fine. Because Matthew Stafford is ready to show you, this year MVP candidate, maybe win the MVP this year. And he's going to go into the playoffs. Matthew Stafford is ready to roar. And then there's that, I don't care what level of pressure it is, it exists. I got to get off of this in terms of my win-loss record. Got to get one, right? Remember when Steve Young won his first Super Bowl as a starter, and he said, the gorilla, the monkey's off my back. All the way up to that point, he acted like, this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It was on his back. Matthew Stafford needs that first playoff win, right? Let's just say it's not now just about the physicality of his opponent in the playoffs that he has to go against. Let's just also add to it now, whatever level it exists, there's an Odell Beckham Jr., who's never won a playoff game as well, who also wants his touches, who's been chomping at the bit. Hey, man. Hey, Matthew, it's been a few weeks. We've been together, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know you and Cooper, y'all cool. Y'all had the off season. I'm special, man. Like, I'm Odell. This is my time to shine. I had the three-finger catch that made me a superstar. And now this is the playoffs where everyone's watching, where stars are made. Come on, man, we could do this together. And that pressure right there reminds me of the pressure that maybe a Baker Mayfield felt in terms of just got to get Odell the ball. Odell had the most targets on the Cleveland Browns this year. How'd that work out? So now you're going to say, okay, Odell, I got to work with you because, hey, the pressure's on both of us. Let's do this. And then you start to realize that last year wasn't the most productive year from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the receiving position. The year before, they had two 1,000-yard receivers with 180 catches. And then you go into last year, it was a little spotty. Injuries, whatever it may be. Point being, the passing game sets you up, but that running game takes you over. And I don't see this running game being good enough for them. Now, the defense is opportunistic, and the defense has special talent up and down. But if this defense, do I see this right? Can't stop the run. What are they? Oh, my God. Look at this Rams team in terms of their defense and what does that say right there? 12th ranked, 17th against the pass. So now you got a defense that's average, a little above average, that all of a sudden is going to be on the field longer because you're not running the ball. Even if you score, it's an offense that is going to be highlighted by the passing game. I don't see this as a recipe for success at the receiver position. If Odell flipped to running back and played that position, control the clock. Let's go out there and strike and then also bleed the clock. I will buy into this team. Right now, Odell is just going to be a big star waiting for some opportunity.
But the difference is, if you can't fix what you do bad, then do what you do best better. And I think that's what the Rams are. Right now, who are the free agent signings at the running back position? Todd Gurley's still available. Or the Rams are like, nope, been there, done that.
No, don't do that.
So if you can't fix what you do bad, then why don't I just go ahead and figure out what I do best? Do that even better. Steph Curry ain't all of a sudden in the lane yamming on nobody. He ain't doing no reverse windmill dunks. He ain't in there with no low post moves. But boy, does he know how to shoot even better than he did his rookie season. Do what you do best even better.
But they're not going to pick up another Steph Curry or a facsimile of it. They're not going to be redundant. This is redundant almost.
But still, in the NFL, you know you can come out there with 1, 2, 3, 4 wide receivers. You know you can come out there in what they call 10 personnel. 1 running back, 4 wide receivers, no tight ends. So to me, it's not redundant. It's dominant. The Rams are like, we are going to dominate you at the wide receiver position. We are going to make you fear stepping onto the football field against us because you realize y'all just ain't got the dogs that we got. Y'all ain't got the horses. You might have a great DB. You might have 2 great DBs. You might have 2 great cornerbacks and a great safety. But I promise you this much, you ain't going to have 4 great DBs. And we got 4 really good wide receivers if you include Odell Beckham and Van Jefferson. So I understand the Rams got a weakness. Their weakness is very simple. Their weakness is a rushing attack. But they said, what our strength is, we gonna make even stronger. Matthew Stafford leads the NFL in passer rating, gonna make it even better. Matthew Stafford, second in the NFL in passing touchdowns, gonna make him even better. Matthew Stafford, he's first in the NFL in passing yards. We gonna do what we do well, even better. Now who gonna stop us, huh?
Well, I can tell you gonna stop you. Odell Beckham Jr. doesn't close the gap between them and Arizona, whatever that game was. And you're not supposed to lose to Tennessee in the first place. And Odell Beckham Jr. is not gonna be the difference in that. You lost to Tennessee without Derrick Henry. What do you think's gonna happen if you see him? First of all, if you see him, good for you because you're in the Super Bowl because that's an AFC team. But the point being, I don't see him being a difference maker in that. They were already top in receiving. And now you add another top receiver to say we're top in receiving. And the other team's going to be like, yeah, and all we got to do is punch you in the mouth. How's that going to work out for you guys? I don't know. If you ask me to bet right now, I'm saying the Rams addressed a need, but it wasn't their greatest need. And I don't think that they really closed the gap. Coming up, Cam Newton is back where it all started. But we'll tell you if the Panthers overpaid for this reunion. And that's next on Speak for Yourself. But they needed that star power for.
Chief Master Sergeant Ken Wapsie, Kadena Air Base Fire Chief, out here from St. Paul, Minnesota. Let's go Vikings, baby. Let's go.
Thank Master Sergeant Ken Wapsie. Let's get back to the big news in Carolina. Cam Newton is back after he agreed to a deal for the rest of the season. Reports say the new deal could be worth up to $10 million with a $4.5 million guarantee. So, Acho, did the Panthers overpay for Cam? Ouch.
On the surface level, I got to say, yeah.
You say
right?
Yeah?
Because the Patriots gave Cam Newton $4 million for 16 games last year, 15 of which Cam Newton played in. Cam Newton getting $4.5 million to play in these last 8 games for these Carolina Panthers. So surface level, you want to say, of course they overpaid. But then you remember the age-old truth. The market dictates your value.
Okay.
And the free agent quarterback market is not very appetizing right now. It's not very appealing right now. So if you are the Carolina Panthers and for whatever reason, I don't agree with, but you think you're only one quarterback away, maybe you go back. You partner up with Cam Newton. $4.5 million, though, at a minimum for the last 8 games, especially knowing he's probably not going to play this week against the Arizona Cardinals. So $4.5 million for those 7 games, to me, still, that does seem like overpayment, particularly given what the Patriots paid him last year. But more importantly, given the return on investment that he gave the Patriots last year, I'm like, man, maybe they overpaid. But again, I think Cam Newton caught him when they was desperate. He caught the Panthers realizing Sam Darnold hasn't played well. Plus, he's out for at least 4 weeks. Y'all just went and signed Matt Barkley. Matt Barkley, close friend of mine, but as I checked, Matt Barkley, a career 11 touchdowns, a career 22 interceptions. Yeah, Cam Newton probably is the best option out there because P.J. Walker was nice in the XFL, but these letters are different, y'all. This acronym is a lot different.
Oh, man. Oh, man. No, they didn't overpay for Cam Newton. Y'all got to know how many moves this money just made in terms of getting Cam Newton on this roster. Let me just start off by saying football is not just about X's and O's. It's about I's and U's. Okay. And when you're talking about the National Football League, you're talking about professional football. We're talking money, entertainment, show business as well. It's just pure on the field product. And what are the I's and U's? Let's talk about the I's and U's. Let's talk about I am David Tepper. Who am I? I'm the richest owner in the NFL. No, it's not Jerry Jones. It's David Tepper, the owner of the Carolina Panthers. And who are you? You are Cam Newton. And damn, you coming back home. And last time I checked, woo, the block is hot because Cam is back. Cachet through the roof. So you pay for that. Like you said, you're going to pay for Matt Barkley? You might get something on the field, but what is he going to do in terms of being box office? Is he going to sell more tickets? Cam Newton, let me help you out. Let me be your agent for just 0.00001% right now. Change your number. Don't go back with the same old number one. Go back, change your number. Let's sell those jerseys, get some royalties out of that. Everybody have new Cam Newton fanfare, and everyone is just clamoring after Cam Newton. Because David Tepper is sitting there like, this is the NFL. This is not my primary business. This is my fun hobby. And what's the use of having toys if you can't have fun with them? I'm about to go out there and get Cam Newton. Forget all these issues that happened in this organization before and his departure. He's back, and he's going to sell tickets, and he's going to help us win games. We are half a game out of the playoff picture right now. Cam Newton is going to go out there, the same Cam Newton that won 7 games for the Patriots last year. People could laugh at that. Carolina's won 9 games in the last 2 years, y'all. So Cam Newton's going to be a difference maker on the field and certainly box office off the field.
But so what you know is this much. You pay players to come in and win games. Let's leave that schedule up there or bring that schedule back. When I look at it, Carolina Panthers last 4 games, they're not about to win none of those.
None of
Bills,
those?
They're not going to beat your Bills, especially not in Buffalo.
I don't know. Jacksonville said they can.
Okay, so they are going to beat your Bills.
I ain't saying that.
Exactly.
Mafia, Bills Mafia.
They're not going to beat your Bills. See, I had to get them. They're not going to beat the Buccaneers. I know that much.
I don't know.
I doubt they're going to beat the Saints, and they're not going to beat the Buccaneers again. So when you look at those last 4 games.
Trevor Siemian?
Saints in New Orleans with everything to play for.
Is Trevor still the quarterback?
It don't matter.
I don't care where they play. They can play in my backyard. It don't matter, Trevor Siemian.
I'm telling you right now, that Saints game is going to be hard to win on the road. That Bucks game is not going to be one, nor is that other Bucks game. And that Bills game on the road, I just don't see what games is Cam Newton about to come in here and win that dictated like the ones. Man, I'm glad we spent that money.
The ones we don't see, just like our power rankings got. You know what? We did our power ranking segment, what was it, a day or two ago? And we both walked to the board and said, man, this weekend messed up our power rankings. Rams were gone. We were looking at it, right? Buccaneers, we were looking at everything changed around, right? Why? Because we don't see everything. And Cam Newton and his team being energized. Listen to DJ Moore right now, who's like, thank God Cam Newton's in the building. Once everybody gets to know Cam Newton and understand what he's about, it's going to change everybody's perspective. That's the kind of receiver I want to throw the ball to because he's energized. You think it's not happening to Robbie Anderson as well? You think it's C-Mac ain't like, yo, I feel a lot better right now because I got a chance. Cam Newton's in the building. It's going to be contagious. Stephon Gilmore talking about it as well. Look, I don't care what you say. The guys were walking around, now they walking around on their toes because Cam Newton in the building. They certainly going to win some games that you and I don't foresee.
Here's the problem, Odell. Again, I've talked about this earlier.
What's the problem?
I view Cam Newton as caffeine, or I view Cam Newton as sugar. You know, my birthday was yesterday, so your boy has some cupcakes, has some cookies, has some cake, has some brownies.
Yeah.
Doing too much.
Doing
no, I know.
most.
I got to do some abs, what I need to do. But what I know is this. After you have a boatload of sugar or after you have a boatload of caffeine, you come down and you crash.
Yeah.
There's that sugar crash. Yeah. You have a real big high. You feel great in the moment. Whenever you eat junk food, you feel great. Oh, it's great. It's so great going down. But eventually you come down from that caffeinated high or that sugar high and you're like, ugh, I don't feel so good. I think everybody right now is on that high.
Okay.
We just got Cam Newton, one of the most talented players the game of football has ever seen. Now, I didn't say the NFL. I said the game of football because collegiately, Cam Newton was incredibly talented. National Football League, Cam Newton was incredibly talented. Only so many players have won a Heisman and an NFL MVP. Let's never get that twisted. So Cam is one of the most talented players the game of football has ever seen. But realistically, Sal, when it comes down to these dollars, I don't know if it comes down to making sense.
Oh, DJ Quick over here now? You ain't been to Compton, and I know you ain't been to Bompton. You scared of that. So here we go. I'll use your example, and I'll use it against you. Okay, you take the sugar, right? You take the caffeine, and you get this high, right? Let's start here. I ain't got no caffeine and no sugar. I'm Acho before his birthday. I take it, I get high, and then I crash. But you crash higher than you would than if you didn't take caffeine or sugar at all. And that's the bump from Sam Darnold to Cam Newton right there. Go to a doctor and say, oh, what's my basic metabolic rate? And he'll say, oh, it increases and it also decreases, but it will grow and increase based on how much caffeine, sugar in your system. They just got some caffeine. They just got some sugar. I get what you're saying. It ain't going to be all roses because Cam Newton's in the building, but it's going to be better. And it's going to be better than the graveyard that they were about to bury themselves in without the quarterback named Cam Newton. Coming up, Odell Beckham Jr. is in L.A. Ooh. Well, he's L.A. bound at least. We'll tell you who will win a breakup between him and Baker Mayfield. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Now let's get back to the breaking news with Odell Beckham Jr. He's coming to L.A. to join the 7-2 Rams. He had a well-publicized divorce from the Browns, and his former quarterback, Baker Mayfield, is coming off a blowout win against the Bengals without OBJ. So, Acho, who will win the breakup, Baker or Odell?
At first, I said it was going to be a win-win, and I do truly believe that. Baker Mayfield's going to get what he wants out of this. He's going to get money. The Browns are going to continue to succeed. Baker's going to get team success. But now I'm erring on the side of Odell Beckham winning the breakup because while they're both going to get what they want, Odell's going to get more of what he wants.
Let's hear that.
First and foremost, Odell wants, or at least needs, to be a star. And he needs to be celebrated as the star he is.
I'm not a star.
It's hard to understand if you ain't been it, which is why it's even hard for me to understand. But I know this much. Odell Beckham captivates a room when he walks in it. Y'all,
Facts.
Odell Beckham had grown men dyeing their hair blonde. If you saw a grown man with his hair dyed blonde, it was probably because of Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham had kids ages 6 to 60 thinking they could go out there with blonde hair and full beards. Mind you, y'all ain't pull it off like OBJ. Y'all, please stop. Odell Beckham had people trying to make three-finger catches when the ball was thrown at their chest. You moving out the way to make a three-finger catch. It's right here, and you all of a sudden want to do something all crazy. So Odell's going to get more of what he wants, though, because you're coming to a city that just by nature will maximize your stardom. Now, here's a kicker. We don't care about your stardom, but we'll maximize it. Like Odell, people ain't gonna freak out when they see Odell Beckham. You just gonna fall in line with all the other A-listers, B-listers, C-listers.
TMZ still be acting
might,
up.
But it's not like people are going to, oh my God, Odell. You're like, oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
So your stardom for Odell will be maximized, though it won't bother you. Match made in heaven, Odell to the Rams. Baker's gonna get what he wants too. But Odell's just going to get more of what he wants.
You started off the right way, but you said it the wrong way.
How I do it, sir?
You said it was a win-win, right? And then you said, but I'm erring on the side of Odell. Actually, you meant you were erroring. It's going to be Baker Mayfield, man. I'm going to tell you why. Odell just signed to a major label. He just signed a major deal. And that's the problem, Odell. You just became Mace the Puffy. And I don't even think you're going to be Mace. You know why? Because I think Cooper Kupp like, I'm over here. Okay, none of y'all going to be Biggie. So let's just go start a Mace. Maybe he'll be, I don't know, Black Rob, Shine, need some shine, something like that. But he on a major. And Baker's sitting there saying, I'm independent and Brown owned. Think about it. He is on the Cleveland Browns touching the ball every single time. And when I think of independent artists and I think of an independent label, I think of No Limit Records. All these rappers walking around here being famous because they own majors. All these rappers and receivers walking around here, being famous. Oh, yeah, Odell, see you at the Staples Center. Oh, yeah, Odell, see you. How many catches you got? I've seen you more than I've seen how many catches you got. That's what's going to happen because there ain't enough touches to go around. He just left a situation where he was the most targeted receiver, and that didn't work out. Now he's going to be the third most targeted receiver, maybe number 2, but he's the most talented on the roster, and I think that's going to grow frustrating to him. Baker Mayfield controls his own destiny. He is independent. He's the franchise quarterback if he lives up to that label. Meanwhile, Odell, guess where you are? In line, waiting to get crumbs on the table after everybody. Oh, you know that tour bus? Oh, you remember when you went there and ended up there? Oh, you remember when we went on this city? Odell gonna be sitting there after Cooper Kupp eat, after Robert Woods eat, maybe even after Van Jefferson eats. All that said, man, nah, Baker Mayfield won this one, bro.
So I think about this question. Somebody asked me the other day, or somebody told me the other day, they said, would you rather be broke and happy or rich and sad? And the response was, I would rather cry in a mansion.
What?
Odell Beckham,
Odell
Beckham would probably rather take the leftovers of Beverly Hills than take the main plate from the cut.
I don't know.
So the leftovers in the Rams will still be better than the main plate as a wide receiver in Cleveland. That main plate as a wide receiver in Cleveland was only 2.8 catches per game. But the leftovers in Los Angeles still will probably be 5 catches a game. Give me the leftovers in Beverly Hills, big dog, over that main plate in some of these streets in L.A., and that's where Odell Beckham is at.
No, trust me, I've been broke and happy, and I take that over what I'm rich and happy, so that's the problem. But I'm not really going to fit this example, but let me tell you, all this is just dressing up what you really are. And if you're Odell Beckham Jr., the number one thing Odell Beckham Jr. wants in this world right now at his age is to demonstrate his talent and ability on that field. I played in the league, you played in the league. When you're playing football for a living, a child's game, there's only one thing that's preoccupying you. Let the best example of me be on display. Everything else comes from that. Endorsements, brand, popularity, money. It's all dress up. Like, that's all like what my daughter does and my son does all the time with the dolls and the Ninjago men, and you dressing up. Money is just a dress up. If you ain't happy, you ain't happy. So what is Odell gonna look like? He more famous than ever, because now he's in LA and already famous. And then he ain't getting but 2 touches a game, 2 catches a game. You wanna go out like that? Let me give you a real story. Okay, when I came down the hill, people don't know this about me because we ain't had the same kind of media. When I was coming down the hill, when I went from 13 to 6 to 3 sacks, I stopped going out as much. I wasn't depressed. It felt like depression, but you know what it really was? I just didn't want to be seen because I wasn't balling out of control. When you win a game, where we going tonight? When you lose a game, man, I'll hit you later. When you win a game, hey, drinks on me. When you lose a game, how much is this? Like, Odell ain't gonna want to do jack if he ain't contributing to these W's. And right now, Baker Mayfield's in full control because Baker Mayfield's independent and Brown-owned. Coming up, Odell Beckham Jr. and Cam Newton have new addresses. But we'll tell you who has more to prove. That's next. Don't speak for yourself. Let's get back to our breaking news. Odell Beckham Jr. is LA bound and will be joining a stacked Rams offense. While on the East Coast, Cam Newton is back in Carolina in a reunion with the Panthers. So, Acho, who has more to prove, Cam or Odell?
This is so tough, Sel. This is so tough. Cam Newton? Right? Like,
What do you mean right?
Cam Newton was in a okay situation and did not necessarily play very well, and he leads the team. He's a quarterback. He touches the ball every single snap. So if Cam don't play good, it's primarily on Cam. Odell Beckham is dependent upon somebody else to help him play well because he's a receiver. He's dependent upon Baker Mayfield to get him to rock. Cam, you're dependent upon nobody. Yeah, you're dependent on them to catch it, but realistically, you get the ball every snap, you in the center. I got to say Cam Newton. Educate me, though. I don't know.
I think during the break, I said it was Odell. Now I flipped. It is Cam Newton. Let me tell you why. All right, who has more to prove, who has more to gain, and who has more time to prove it? They both do. Think about it. If you play the quarterback position now, you have a longer runway than ever. Tom Brady is showing that if you play smart in the pocket and smart when you're getting out the pocket. All of that said, I'd say it's Cam Newton. If I'm the one with the ball in my hand, I got the most to prove. But Odell... It's spicy. We got another show coming up tomorrow. We'll handle that. That's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow.